And we are live. Greetings, all the faithful out there. Thank you so much for joining me again tonight. I know that the timing has been chaotic. Originally, this thing was scheduled for 7 p.m., then it went switched over to 9 p.m., and then we had to go ahead and we had to switch it back to 7, but it's all good in the hood. So, once again, thanks everybody for coming out. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander in Chief, and joining me tonight, got a couple of guests on the panel for you all. First and foremost, I got to give a shout out to, since he showed up first, got a shout out to my man Random Black Gamer. Tell the people how you doing.
I'm doing pretty good, mean Larry Jean. Just got back from a stream and I'm ready to go ahead and cut loose. Dig it. But no, this is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer. I'm here to check in and do what I do best, which is analyze the crap out of a MCU film and see how they're going to structure this new phase, which is Phase 4. We don't even know the name of this. Do we know the name of this saga?
I thought they did call it Phase 4.
I'm talking about the official name, because the last phase was the Infinity Saga.
Yeah, but we didn't have that name until like Infinity War. So
yeah, that's true.
So if they do decide to name this, because we don't even know if they're doing an overarching thing.
Yeah, I think this phase is going to be over in 2 years too.
Yep. All right. So next on the panel is my man, a good friend of mine, one of my best friends, long time bro. That's Dragnot. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on, folks? Some of y'all dragoons out there know I've talked about Larry in some of my own streams. So yeah, this is Mr. OAW here with me, and we have not chopped it up in a hot minute. So for those of you who don't know my channel, I pretty much make fun of men who aren't necessarily men on my channel and lambaste the shit out of them, or the crap out of them. We're trying to keep monetization today. So we also talk about some religion, get a little bit into politics with my boy Nate over there. We do a little bit of everything. But you know what? If y'all watch any Wings of Redemption or DSP review videos, I do the same kind of stuff, but with different people.
Mm.
And while we on that, so we got a new addition to the crew tonight, and that's good old Nate. Nate, brief introduction, just let the people know who you are, where they can find you, and what you do.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Nate. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Nate Brody, same name. I'm an attorney from New York. I was in law enforcement for like 10 years. I'm a cat from Harlem. Big time, fan of everything comics and everything anime, and it's just, I'm crazy. If you look at my channel, I go to Comic-Con every year. I'm going this year again. I'm sad I couldn't go to San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm still kicking myself over that. And that's just me. My channel's about reactions, lore, I'm just doing a little bit of everything, so.
That's what's up. And finally, I got my man, long time faithful. One of the original Otaku faithful, man. That's my man, Hotshot Red.
I mean, man, you know what it is. I mean, you can just call me just Nick. Everybody knows me as
I don't want to dox you.
I mean, that's my online name too, Shot Red. If you want to look it up, whatever, and how that is. But I came by because we're gonna have some good discussions. I always love talking to these guys on the internet. So let's go and do this thing.
All right, cool. So real quick, a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into the discussion. So we may be getting some other guests throughout the course of this live stream, just because I have my YouTube collaborator group on Facebook that I shot the invitation out to. Also special tonight is the link has been shared with my patrons on Patreon. So if any of you all are watching this stream live currently, if you're in the chat, go check your Patreon notification. You will have seen a post. I just recently posted the link. If you want to get in onto this hangout, hey, so long as we can fit people, you're more than welcome. So that's that. Second thing is we're going to be a little strapped for time tonight. Not sure how long we're going to be able to keep the live stream going, but we will try and save questions for the end, but as always, super chats, those get top priority. And super chats pertaining primarily to Marvel Phase 4, those will get top priority. But I mean, hey man, if you paying for me to answer a question, I ain't gonna turn down nothing but my collar. So you know how that is. All right, so let's go ahead and let's kick off this discussion. So gentlemen, Marvel's presentation at San Diego Comic-Con was last night. For those of you all who follow me on Facebook, know that I was sharing links as soon as they were dropping. Like the minute they were dropping, I was sharing links. And I read up a couple of articles this morning, finding out more about the announcements because I didn't see any of the video or watch any of the live footage. Funny enough, I was actually in the middle of making my way through Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Just had picked that up and was playing it yesterday when all the news came out, and I was like, oh snap, all right, gotta inform my people. So anywho, so let's go ahead and let's kick off this discussion. Which project do you fellas want to talk about first?
I mean, you want to go down the line on how they presented it, or
do you have that list?
Yeah. I'm funny. I'm looking at the pictures right here. It says like the first one, I guess, was what, Black Widow, May 3rd.
Yeah, that's in May.
But yeah. Can I throw out one thing though? Can I throw out something that's not on that list? I'm surprised that Black Panther 2 is not on that list. I expected a Black Panther 2 pretty coming up in the next 2 years.
So from what I gathered, based upon like this announcement, it looks like Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, Captain Marvel 2. Those are going to be saved for like the next slate.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, because and the reason why I say that is because we already know Guardians 3 not coming out until what? 3 to 4 years?
2021 at the latest.
No, at the earliest.
Oh. Yeah, so you're talking phase 5, right? That's phase 5.
Yeah,
well, I mean, we won't know what it'll officially be called, but consider this because of what happened with James Gunn, right? Dude, James Gunn is doing Suicide Squad 2. That hasn't even started shooting yet.
Right.
And he has to finish that movie before he can do Guardians 3. So let's just do some math. It's halfway through 2019 right now. Even if Suicide Squad was to start shooting tomorrow, wouldn't finish the film what, next year? Which means he probably can't even get to Guardians until 2021 at the earliest. And then you figure 2 years for that. So you're looking at what, 2022? No, I'm sorry, 2023, maybe 2022. Maybe 2022.
Yeah, I think 2022 would be pushing a little bit. I would say
I'd say 2023.
Yeah, I think that's the best bet is 2023. Just, I mean, kind of as a conservative, I guess, guesstimate, because this phase is noticeably short. It's just between 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, it's a very short phase. Yeah. But I can see Black Panther not being in this particular phase, but it's just a little more surprising because Black Panther was before the Infinity War and they have a lot of good build-up. So I would suspect that they would have thrown another one in before phase 5.
And I will continue to mention what I would regard as the constant disrespect given towards Black Panther. But once again, every time I hear or see something that is along those lines, I have to remind people 1.78 billion. 1.78 billion.
That's
Best Picture nomination.
Oscar family, baby.
I'm just saying. But you know how it is.
Money talks, but the wife was underwhelmed. Just on that note, the wife was underwhelmed. So
Tasha didn't like Black Panther.
She didn't say she didn't like it, but she was underwhelmed. So I could kind of see, it was very beautiful, very vibrant. I just to go on a segue. I'm glad they killed off Michael B. Jordan. Just going forward.
Hold on. Drag. I gotta say this. That's like a Christian saying they didn't like Passion of the Christ. That's what you're telling me right now. So you have Killmonger, right? You have a dude named Killmonger, and so they just make him an army operator, and he's actually Wakandan, and so now he's coming to take the throne. But when you see Michael, like he's a decent actor, but when you see the Killmonger from the comic, and you see what Michael B. Jordan tried to do, especially in the room with what's his face, old guy, lazy eye, fuck, you know what I'm talking about. But when they were burning all the heart-shaped plants, and he was trying to, I'm the king. Like he was trying his hardest to get some bass in that little bird chest of his. I was not feeling Killmonger. I was feeling this is somebody's
angry puppy like we see on the screen trying to growl at somebody.
Insert dog. Shout out to ARC. Insert dog face here. Are you kidding me? Are you serious?
Even when I first learned that they cast him, I'm so glad they killed him off. I want the leader of the mountain tribe to actually come for him, like at the beginning. I want him, even though he's a vegan.
I can't with y'all. It's too late. I'm not doing this with y'all. We'll save that for another discussion. We'll table that.
Yeah.
We'll table the Black Panther discussion because
I can see it. Yeah, we can talk about that all.
Yeah, this is about to take over the show. We're about to go take over the show right now.
I didn't mean to derail.
Blaspheming on Black Panther right now. I want a room full of black men. 1.7 billion. He would have talked about how he didn't appreciate the movie.
Okay, the only thing I got to say about this,
let's go to
that movie is I'm surprised how much my parents be watching that movie. They actually be watching that a lot.
I like the scene at the end of the Infinity War when they came out the portals. That was beast. That gave me chills. I like that. That's the kind of
you mean Endgame?
No, the Endgame. Sorry, in the Endgame where they came out the portals and they were shouting the battle cry. That's what I'm talking about. We need some more of that. Whatever essence that they took out of Black Panther, they need to put that in the next movie, and they need to do it quick because I'm looking at the lineup now and I see Black Widow. Okay, the Eternal.
So hold on. Let's start with Black Widow though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black Widow. Okay.
Yeah. So Black Widow is Scarlett Johansson's solo movie because she was, she's a B character in the Avengers. I know that's not PC, but she's a B character. I'm sorry. Her and Hawkeye.
How does that have to do with anything with PC? I mean,
some people you got to you let them know. I'm not saying it because she's the only woman on the team. It's just her character was a B character. Her and Hawkeye were B characters.
All the characters.
Look, most people ain't gonna like what I'm gonna have to say on this one. I felt like it was a movie not needed, or this should have been a movie earlier.
Thank you.
Watching this now, it's like, I don't care.
Of course, it's an origin story. You got to give that.
I know everybody wants to, see it. So I'm like, nah, I don't care much.
Dude, my biggest complaint about the Black Widow movie, we should have gotten this after Winter Soldier, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we should have this should have been the very next movie right after Winter Soldier. Right before Age of Ultron,
and I'm gonna co-sign on that because if you look at the end of Endgame, well, I keep saying in the middle of Endgame, where it's that kind of do or die moment where they need to get the Soul Gem, there was supposed to be something between her and Ronan that you were supposed to feel. I knew a little bit about her past from flashbacks back in the original movie. Almost 3-4 years ago. I think I kind of remember. But
the flashbacks when Age of Ultron
connect me to her. I was like, good. I didn't know who she was anyway. Good, she can die. Like at least they gave some character development to Ronan or to Hawkeye, so why he became Ronan. But there was nothing for me to connect to her with. So I wanted her to go off that cliff. But I think it was a bad decision. I agree with you.
Damn, AJ, you want niggas jumping off of cliffs?
There was nothing for me to connect with her.
What you talking about?
I understood.
At bare minimum, eye candy, bro.
Yeah, but she's cool. But you know what? There's plenty of good-looking assassins out there that are women. Plenty of fish in the Assassin Sea. She can go. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
There's a lot.
All right. Anyway, but yeah, so Black Widow dropping in May. I'm interested in seeing it. I was surprised that they're using it as the Passing of the Torch film, or at least that's what the speculation is, that it's the Passing of the Torch film. So, okay, cool. But like I said, my biggest complaint is we should have got this after Winter Soldier. And to say that it takes place after Civil War, okay, fine. You're not going to release it after Winter Soldier, no problem. But then shouldn't we have gotten it after Civil War?
Yeah.
But then what do you do with the Hawkeye movie though? Because the Hawkeye movie now would be a problem because now you'd have that's one of the original 6 Avengers and you're putting them in Phase 4 after Endgame. Well, why not do both of those? When are you going to have time for those?
So here's the thing though. Like, Hawkeye's not getting a movie because he's got the TV show on Disney Plus, which they announced, which that's his Passing of the Torch story.
Well, here's a question I have. Because I'm not sure about certain things on this. So most of the stuff on the Disney Plus is all those TV shows, or some of the movies also.
They're TV shows.
Yeah, TV shows.
All of them. Oh, okay.
5 TV shows slated, and you got 5 movies slated for Phase 4.
Okay, so that reevaluates what I was thinking or wanted to see or not see.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But anyway, back to Black Widow though, man. I mean, they cast my boy. I always mispronounce his last name. It's David. Is it Harbour or Herber?
David Harbour.
Harbour. Taskmaster, man. Come on. I'm the only one that's excited about that.
Oh, I'm really excited for it, man.
I'm curious.
Like Tony Masters, that opens up a big can of worms because you have so many different things associated with that character.
Yeah,
From like the AIM organization, and you got the Secret Avengers and all those, the Thunderbolts. So many things, and I'm pretty sure that movie is actually going to segue his character into other Marvel movies later down the line. I don't think they're going to be finished. They'll be stupid to kill that character off.
Yeah, movie. Well, I mean, Marvel's kind of stuck on stupid when it comes to killing off villains.
They've gotten better.
I don't know. I feel like Taskmaster's too big for her. Okay.
Just saying. But anyway, so any further thoughts on Black Widow?
I ain't got nothing to say.
All right. So what's Nick? What's next?
Next should be the Eternals, November 6th, 2020.
Dude, now let me tell you something that's funny about that movie, because I was hearing about the castings, like, you know, as they were coming out. I must have missed the Selma Hayek one. I must have totally missed that casting, because when I saw the photos from San Diego from the press conference, I'm like, who the hell is that in that black dress? I'm like, and she was like in the background, and she was the thing I was like, who the hell is that? And then I saw like closer, I was like, oh, that's who that is. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm gonna go see that then. Selma's one of those actresses, bro. Like, I went and saw both grown-up movies just because she was in it.
I'm actually looking up her character. They have her in full regalia.
No, she's just. I mean, she was just wearing a nice black dress. That's all.
Oh, okay. I was like, let me find.
No, Larry was just checking her out a little bit.
Just typing hard over there.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, Selma Hayek, yeah, she still looks good
for educational purposes.
Flapping keys.
But anyway, but this is what's funny about Eternal. So somebody, y'all roll with me on this one, bro. So who's familiar with the Eternal comics?
I'm not that familiar.
I'm not, but I probably can understand who they are on probably some general basis.
I know a little bit. I haven't actually even sat down and read any of it.
Okay. So what's funny about this with the Eternals is essentially, dude, that is one of Jack Kirby's brainchilds. And I might have this mixed up, might be misconflating the dates and whatnot, but essentially, you know, from Jack Kirby, you have 2 properties, both from rival companies. You have the Eternals for Marvel, and then you have the Fourth World for DC.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember which one came first, or if he was writing both of them at the same time, or if he came up with both of them at the same time. It's kind of hard because Jack Kirby did so much stuff in his career.
It's a very bipolar parallel, because that's when Kirby wasn't getting his respect, and he had to go over to DC, and then for some reason he got lonely over there and came back to Marvel. So it's a very bipolar parallel, if that can be a term.
But the reason I bring that up is because aren't DC developing the New Gods movie?
Are they?
Yeah, they are. Tom King's writing it with old girl who directed Selma and A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, wow.
That movie is coming out, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's supposed to be coming out, like that's supposed to be entering production soon. I'm like, wait a minute, is Marvel gonna beat DC to? Are they put out the Eternals before DC gets to put out the New Gods? Because the New Gods got announced years ago, dude.
Well, considering how how DC has kind of changed their pitch and what they want to do and how they want to expand their universe, who knows?
Yeah, but DC had to hit the reset button hard, though. They really hit the reset button hard. So
But the thing that gets me though is because the New Gods was first like announced as like one of the projects they wanted to do back when this was before BVS, right? And then BVS comes out, and then of course you see some type of course correction there, but they still hadn't taken the New Gods off the slate. You know what I'm saying? Because of course we got Steppenwolf in Justice League, and everyone knew that they were building up to Darkseid, but then they backed out at the last minute and decided to do Steppenwolf instead of Darkseid. But we all knew that's what originally they were doing, right? And then Justice League comes and goes, and then they're like, no, we're still doing New Gods. Like they had not changed their mind on that. So I'm like, okay, so New Gods, that's the thing that's happening. But now the Eternals, because this is what it is about the Eternals. I didn't know it was supposed to come out next year.
But two things. I think with DC, I think DC just had, it was a meltdown over there. A lot of their properties just wasn't working. There's we don't even know who's going to be Superman, Batman. Ben Affleck, he's out as Batman. So they're in a full they're like the New York Knicks of movies. They got to do a full rebuild mode right now. Zion's not coming. They got to start from scratch. Over here, I think when Marvel, my only concern is with the Eternals. You just asked everybody in the panel were they familiar with the Eternals. The only person that had really any real deep knowledge was you. And I'm just trying to understand. Marvel is the king of building characters. For instance, if you go back to the first Iron Man movie, you put an Iron Man symbol up next to Batman or Superman, people would be like, what is that thing next to a Batman and Superman symbol? So they built these characters into staples in the movies. But the Eternals, I'm just trying to understand how they're going to transition from Black Widow to the Eternals, because most people in this room aren't familiar with that property.
Well, most people weren't familiar with the Guardians.
Right.
Yeah.
But the Guardians did build off of Marvel's, properties that kind of led up to. We all saw the story as it was unfolding with the Guardians.
I don't know. I think when it comes to Eternals, I think that's going to be a trickier project overall.
Is it?
I mean, you got the Marvel brand.
To get people into it, probably, because they don't know what it is.
You got Selma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, and Richard Madden. Really?
I mean, having star power is good, and that's definitely
having star power is good.
But why do I? It's like the issue that I had with Black Widow. I didn't care if she died because they didn't really build her character, and I knew that she was around because she was in other movies, so I was familiar with Natasha Romanoff. The only reason I even know her name is because they had referenced her in other movies. Now then, when it came to Endgame, I was like, oh yeah, that's chick. Okay, I remember kind of seeing her in other movies. Would never think that she had her own spinoff at any point in time. She could have been made up in the last 5 years, and I would have never known. But
because none of you bastards read the comics.
Exactly read the comics no more.
We are the majority of people who are going to want to see this movie. People who don't read the comics.
Yeah, I actually do want to see the Eternals.
yeah, and I'm not saying I won't see it, but I'm still saying that I think they're going to have to market this movie in a particular way, because this is one of the few properties that are totally unfamiliar. I know Guardians was too, but I think Guardians was with the overall scheme. Guardians did work, and they had a nice director. I don't know how they're going to do this with the Eternals.
Okay, yeah, that is true. Because James Gunn,
James Gunn is another one of those guys who does the heavy lifting on both sides when it comes to directing and writing.
So if they do like a surprise mini-series, like a surprise Netflix series or Hulu series, where they just kind of have some offshoot, kind of quirky adventures dealing with the Eternals to get people familiar with them, and that just gives them a taste to the movie, that would be great, right? So it's just like when you had the movie Serenity that was based off the show Firefly. So you make a little mini run, like a little mini, Firefly, and then here comes the Eternals movie being Serenity. It's like, oh yeah, those two were connected. Oh, okay. And then you can then branch off from there if they play a larger role in the next phase of the Marvel Universe.
I'm actually in the minority with this one, guy. I think Eternals is going to be fine. If nothing else, it's the one. It and Shang-Chi are the only two we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
That alone, I think, is what's going to aid that, because it's the thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what's helping these newer properties too. Well, not newer properties, but unknown, obscure properties that Marvel's had in their toy chest, but people didn't know about. I mean, it's just baffling that Spider-Man, it's like slowly like just crawling to that $1 billion mark. But you got all these other obscure properties like Captain Marvel and Black Panther just easily passing that $1 billion threshold. And I think
Black Panther
want something new.
But you got to get I think Black Panther was a cultural phenomenon, though. That was something different. That wasn't just a movie. That was like a experience of who we are as a culture. That's why that movie did so well. And I think the next one will do well too. But I think as a comic, just as a pure movie, a comic book movie, it was okay. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. I'd agree with Drag. It wasn't like crazy, but it was good. It was good.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if Shang-Chi is going to have the same effect on Asian Americans.
I mean, Asians don't care about it. They don't care.
But you know why Marvel's making that movie, right? Because they have the deal with China. They have that deal with China. That's why China plays all their movies.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why Shang-Chi will not have the same effect. Because the Asian cinema, and pick one. Pick any Asian cinema you want. Pick Bollywood in India. Pick the Chinese film industry, pick the Japanese film industry, the Korean film industry, because that's one of the ones.
Did he just freeze up on you guys too?
Uh-oh.
Yep.
He's on that Walmart internet. Somebody get him.
He got 2 fingers up hard too.
Right? All right.
You took a deep breath and just froze on camera.
You took the most generic.
Whatever you said was gospel because you was about to say it.
And snap! Yeah,
shut him down.
And I knew it was going to be good because you took a deep breath. You like,
hold up, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So no, what I was saying was Shang-Chi's not going to have the same effect because that group of people, they already have their own cinema and they've had their own cinema for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And their own cinema does a really good job at adapting their own material. That's why I've always said, like, Americans need to stay away from anime properties that y'all trying to make into film because y'all don't do it like the Japanese do it. Like, have y'all seen any of those Rurouni Kenshin live action films?
Oh,
bruh.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. They're pretty good. Yeah.
Bruh. You see what I'm saying? So, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, Shang-Chi, dude, come on. We take a Bruce Lee movie.
But you arguing to the point though I made before. You know it very well. I've even seen some of the stuff you mentioned. But Shang-Chi is just like saying Chi-Chang for me because I'm just unfamiliar with the property, and that's no disrespect to the language or anything, but it's just the reality of the situation is that I think Marvel's got a lot to do with reintroducing these new They did it for us with Iron Man and Thor and Captain America because those were B-level characters that they made A-level top billing property. They got their work to do with the Eternals and Shang-Chi.
You want to know how you pull off Shang-Chi? I guess we can transition to Shang-Chi at this point because I do want to talk about Shang-Chi. But you want to know how you pull off Shang-Chi?
No.
Go ahead.
The same way you would have pulled off Iron Fist. You know what you got to do?
Get a white American to play an Asian dude.
Just make a fucking kung fu movie.
Oh, you're about the old dude. I don't know. I still watch him.
Just make a fucking kung fu, dude. I'm gonna be real with you. For like no disrespect to anybody working on Shang-Chi, because I looked up the cast working on it. I don't know none of them, and I'm not supposed to know none of them. You want to know why? Because those are professional Chinese actors, directors, writers, producers. I'm not supposed to know them because I'm not that big into that.
Just got out again.
About to kill him again.
It's like a white boxing.
Drop that hot fire.
And they be catching them at the worst possible froze.
Y'all messing on the good stuff. See, I can't emote on camera. You
probably got to turn your bandwidth down.
You got them Disney agents out on you.
Hey, what's your internet, man? What you running with?
He's like, it's about to be 100. It's funny because it's like you're saying 1 + 1 equals.
Well, you dropping
the
like
secret of life equals.
Actually, no, I know what's causing that damn problem. Hold up.
I'm just trying to. They've already disrespected the hell out of Mandarin already, so I'm not sure. Is this like, or is that just a fake Mandarin? They're just gonna play that off and retcon.
How do you do that with the Mandarin? Yeah, I don't know how you bring it. Even though I like the twist in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin, that was a great twist.
Because they had me fooled. They had me completely fooled. Oh shit! Is he gonna fight them? How's he gonna fight Magic? Oh wait, he ain't Magic. Okay.
Yo, but go back and watch those clips of him telling like the president when he's killed the guy. Yo, those clips were vicious. That was savage.
Oh yeah, talking about the Mandarin. Okay, wait.
In Iron Man 3.
Real quick before we jump back on the Mandarin. So what I was saying was about the dude, just make a fucking kung fu movie. I would have been perfectly fine. I told this to my coworker today at work, dude. I'd have been perfectly fine if Marvel just went to one of the studios and like, look, bro, we just want to license one of y'all movies. Y'all make the fucking movie. We'll license it in the States. We'll distribute it. We'll slap Shang-Chi on it and then call it Shang-Chi. I would have been perfectly fine with that. Because that's all you need to do, dude. It's a martial arts movie. This shit ain't difficult.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I looked up the character and I'm like, yeah, it seemed like it as far as that is what you can do. But I'm like, I'm wondering, are they going to throw a lot of mysticism and magic into playing of this?
If you bringing in Mandarin, you better. That's the thing that got me so hyped about Shang-Chi. We get the real Mandarin. 10 rings, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Magic, nigga. Even if they do it tech-based, I'm fine with that. I just want badass old man kicking your ass Mandarin.
But how do you overcome the fact that they did the Mandarin in Iron Man 3? We can't just forget about that. They had a fake Mandarin. You remember the Mandarin was fake. How do you resurrect that?
They gonna introduce that?
Dude, you could just say I'm the guy that Aldrich Killian based his character off of.
Yeah, all right.
Because the Mandarin is supposed to be old. He's old.
So, and I could see that. I called her a retcon, but I guess it would still be within the continuity, because all they have to say is, oh no, they knew of the story of the Mandarin, and that was simply a cover because of how powerful he was, and they knew that he was on the other side of the freaking world.
Mm-hmm.
Or they had an idea of his infamy. If they knew how powerful he was, they probably wouldn't have did that. But so here's the real one, and then they can pay homage to that and go, oh yeah, did we hear about this? Oh no, that was an imposter. So, and then they can just have a very, very brief dialogue that will cover that up, and those and that'll alleviate all of our concerns. But I think it's pretty easy to resolve. I just hope that they don't leave it to everyone's imagination. That's the only cinema sin that I think they could commit.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say one thing about the Mandarin is that you waste Sir Ben Kingsley on a fake Mandarin.
Yeah,
you have one of the best actors on the fucking planet, and you waste him on a fake Mandarin. You couldn't hold him for the real thing. One of the best actors on the planet. I don't know. I think Marvel made a mistake there.
Because he went hard in that trailer, and his scenes, the little promos, those are my favorite scenes in Iron Man.
Oh
yeah, the promos were sick.
That dude, oh my goodness. But nah, dude, Shang-Chi, like, it's funny. Like, out of all the projects, there's only one returning character project that was announced in Phase 4 that I'm looking forward to. For the most part, it's the new stuff. I want to see Eternals. I want to see Shang-Chi.
I'm interested in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and then.
Y'all want to jump to Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I'm really interested in that.
That's the main one I'm interested in.
Well, no, that's my biggest one. One of my biggest ones.
Because I got a feeling that this one right here is going to open up this different, this cultic horror subgenre within the MCU, and that's going to like actually lead to other films like Blade and any other supernatural hero that they want to introduce. Maybe Ghost Rider, some of those.
Man-Thing.
Yeah,
right?
Man-Thing.
Werewolf by Night.
Because that's the thing about MCU, they're standing firm with this PG-13 thing. So I want to see how they're going to actually do the horror.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, before we get into that Blade thing, but as far as Doctor Strange, is one of the biggest ones I wanted to see. He was one of the characters I really did love, and them doing this, I could see more of the mysticism and all that stuff, and do more expanded universe on the whole different planes and stuff. That's one of the things I really want to see on this film, because if we're going to that multiverse of madness, I'm like, you couldn't hit to a H.P. Lovecraft reference any harder on that, title. So I'm like, I want to see that, maybe they might show Shimigura or any of the other, villains that he fights with. Well, but I want to, I need to see a trailer of that.
Dude, I was really happy that they're teaming him up with Scarlet Witch in this one, because I'm like,
Yeah.
You got two of the most powerful beings in the MCU. You got to put those two together so you can fully explore their powers, because people don't realize how powerful they are.
Well, I think people know how powerful Doctor Strange is. He went 1-on-1 with Thanos with
that
a
was my
full
favorite
gauntlet.
on
He held his own. Like Doctor Strange was like straight up 1-on-1 with a full gauntlet. He was missing one stone, and he went toe to toe with Thanos. So I think Doctor Strange is powerful enough. And Scarlet Witch almost killed them in Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Well, she came close. She came close to getting the upper hand on him for a bit. Killing him, I don't know about all that. I'm not sure if she's if Wanda's fully explored her powers just yet, because I think in this, and I hope.
I mean, if we're gonna go that, technically, Doctor Strange ain't really experienced his full power either.
And that's exactly where I hope that they go. Is that
I'm hearing that
now getting used to being Sorcerer Supreme. So in the multiverse of madness, he actually understands that being Sorcerer Supreme is more than just teleport motherfuckers left and right. Like it's more than bringing in armies and looking through time. It is, you know what, your fight with an interdimensional demon is more than you playing a game of attrition with him. It is, you have spells that can rival that of what's his name from the anime, the OVA Bastard, where you can turn someone's blood to dirt. Like the stuff that's just nasty that a sick old mind can come up with on how to manipulate matter in the universe. And
did you just reference Bastard?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes,
Jesus, that's one of my favorites.
I ain't watched that in forever.
Yeah, I feel like I stepped back into the 90s.
That's a read and not watch.
Yeah, it took us way back. But one thing though, Doctor Strange character arc is one of, yes, he does have this power extreme, but it always comes down to the simple thing. He had to like defeat Dormammu. He had to defeat him with his mind. He couldn't defeat him with power. He was just too powerful. So so even though it always comes down to how much power you have, it comes down to the simple way that you use it. You know, it wasn't like he was overpowering him. It was that he had to outthink him. And that's what I think Doctor Strange, even in the comics, it was always at the end, it was, I got to outthink this person because my spells wouldn't just be enough.
I'm gonna tell you what intrigues me about Doc Strange 2 is more due to the villain in this one.
I don't know. Like the way they're talking about it, it's like Doctor Strange is going to be jaded in some kind of way. Like he's going to be conflicted at rock bottom and he's going to pull himself up somehow.
Do they give any? Well, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure you guys check more of the details of some of this stuff. Did they say anything about that, or what was it supposed to be about, or the synopsis of the story?
The only thing I read is that whatever happens in WandaVision is supposed to set up the conflict of that movie. Because it is a direct tie-in, which, can we talk about that real quick? I ain't gonna be watching all these goddamn shows, bro.
Well, that's the whole point. That's one of them in my list that's getting axed.
This is like a brilliant, like in a lucrative scheme for them to do, because when you have a show, you have more than enough time to actually flesh characters and stories compared to how they do on the silver screen.
Well, you guys know about the ongoing war, right, between Netflix and Disney?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's not ongoing. It's over. That's it.
It is. It's from because of because Disney launched their own. Well, it's old, but Disney launched their streaming service, and now Netflix canceled all the Marvel shows that were on Netflix, except for like Jessica Jones, to destroy the characters.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not a war. They just don't shit at each other.
It's common sense. It's like, I'm not finna let you just say, "Hey, I'm launching the streaming service that's going to compete against you." Meanwhile, you're paying for the productions of our properties.
Yeah.
What's the point? So I'm not going to continue that.
Not even that. Don't forget, Disney has a lot of money, so they're trying to get into any lucrative business that they're going to try to do. So once they saw Netflix was doing their thing, like, oh, let's do our own streaming service, and everybody else is jumping on it.
Right. Yeah, but you cut Netflix out because they did two things in Netflix. They not only took their properties off Netflix, but then they're giving it back to people at half the price. So it's they scumbagged them, and that's why Netflix is upset.
Yep,
Netflix
is right to be upset.
It's getting raped left and right. Like HBO is killing them. They just pulled off Friends, which has probably had their highest stream clicks to date. They pulled that out. That's hurting them. Now you got Disney coming out with this service too. Oh, it's going to be some competition, bro. It's going to get nasty.
And DC's out too.
People actually going to buy the Disney Plus? I can tell you right now, I'm going to find every bootleg.
Look how much it costs.
Oh, no. Well, here's the thing. Yeah,
hold on. Wait, AJ. I looked this up because me and my coworker were talking about this. It's only $7.
Right.
Yeah, they did that to undercut Netflix. They know what they was doing.
Well,
Because
everybody Netflix and Hulu. I gotta buy another one.
Well, was he like?
Okay, wait, real quick, AJ. Let's chop it up, bro. All right. So keep in mind what Disney Plus could end up being. All right. You got Disney, their entire catalog. That includes ABC. That includes anything from Freeform, anything from Disney Channel, from any of the Disney channels that ever existed, right? All of that. ESPN. Okay. Then they just bought Fox.
Yep.
Yeah.
They led with the Disney Plus announcement, the fact that that's going to be, I think that's the only place you're going to be able to find The Simpsons.
Oh, so they took that out of the.
Yeah,
I think Hulu will only carry the current season of The Simpsons. I'm talking about the entire back catalog. You're only going to find the back catalog of The Simpsons on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So now take in consideration every Fox show. Take in consideration every FX show.
Damn.
Take in consideration every FXX show. Take in consideration every Fox movie. Take in consideration Aliens and Predator and Avatar and and now all of Star Wars, all of them, even the original trilogies, like the original cuts of those, all of those.
You are making my argument why Netflix is at war with Disney.
But
you've made my argument.
Here's the thing about that, though. I don't really think
you get all that for $7. Netflix is $15. You made the argument. You convinced me.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think it's a war yet because Disney has to contend with Netflix, not the other way around.
Yeah. But you know how big Disney is? They said, they said we're going to give you everything that you just said, plus probably a whole bunch of stuff.
Sometimes giving somebody everything is kind of like giving them nothing, especially if the presentation is crap. One thing that
I was going to say this because the fans, I've seen a lot of hardcore Disney fans. They probably will eat that shit up and buy the streaming service. And given from what Larry said right now, displayed about what other stuff is coming in at Disney service, I didn't think it was going to be ESPN and all that other different, stuff that they own, and that makes a little bit of a difference, especially since you got the hardcore sports fans and other people that like to watch some of those other stuff that Disney owns.
Yo, is it UFC with ESPN?
Yep.
Their pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's over.
Disneyland just got it. They're getting everything up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, my girl worked for Spectrum, and she be dreading them UFC pay-per-view calls, boy.
But don't forget, you get it for half the price. I think you guys are forgetting half the price. And
that's gonna make it. Yeah, that probably does gonna make a difference for it look good on Disney's account.
Dude, I'm cutting off Netflix.
What I'm saying, I mean, I'm debating that too. What I'm saying
is, there it is. Now you concede there's a war because of what you just said. Now you know that Netflix is probably at war. These guys effed me right now.
Come out. No, hold up. Hold up. Look. Yes, I partially agree with you. Me personally, I am debating cutting Netflix because I only got Netflix for the devil.
Oh, really?
And they took the devil from it.
They canceled that show. You know why they canceled that show? Yeah, because they were like, "F you to Marvel." That's right. It was part of the war that you say don't exist. That was the war. The war, and Daredevil was one of their best shows, and they canceled over this.
Well, I'm saying, hang on. I didn't say that. I didn't say that the war didn't exist. What I'm saying is, someone clearly has the upper hand right now. Until Disney gets Disney Plus up and running, Disney has to contend with Netflix, not the other way around.
Right. And don't forget about the other services that they got to contend with too.
But Netflix isn't contending with those other services. They're contending with Netflix until someone knocks Netflix off. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's not really a war. It's more of Red Rover.
Right. Netflix, it has it's like a different machine because it's expanding their audiences in different genres. They're going for that anime audience hard. You know what I'm saying?
Who is?
Netflix.
Are they? Because
yes.
they're not messing with Hulu.
I mean, yeah, and that's funny because Disney owns like the most.
See. I think the problem more when it comes with Netflix. I mean, see, look, I've seen a lot of little interesting little shows they have here and there, and I think it's pretty good what they're doing or making their own new stuff. I think they don't know how to micromanage their money right because they put some specials and certain things, or even some comedy stuff like just god awful bad.
Yeah,
and that screws them up. You know, that adds up.
There's a lot of things that's messing up Netflix. Like their search engine optimization, the way they recommend stuff, they don't have everything like put out right.
Yeah, well, the whole point is Disney got a lot of, you know, I'm gonna say it like this. I call it, you know, fuck you money, so they can do and you know all the stuff to do to make their stuff a lot good and a lot better and what they're searching for compared to what Netflix has to deal with.
Yeah, let's keep it 100. When we're talking about Disney and Netflix it does have its own shows, but it heavily relies on licensing all these movies and content from these other spots, Fox, even Disney to a certain extent.
Licensing costs.
Yes, it would all those are license agreements. So, but Disney creates that content. Now, Disney's content is going to rival Netflix content, and then they're going to offer extremely popular content because that's what even this whole show right here is about. Phase 4, all Disney. That's the reason why we are here. They're going to be offering that content for half the price that Netflix is offering. Not only their own personal content, but other content too. It's just Netflix saw that Disney screwed them. If Disney goes into the streaming service, people like me and people like you are going to probably have to make a choice. Do we want Netflix or do we want Disney? The fact that people have to make that choice is the fact why they got to be at war. They got to try to kill Disney now, and they're not going to kill Disney because Disney got too much money. Yeah, so they are screwed.
Like Disney already owns like 90% of Hulu, so they can make money off that end too with all the anime exclusives and the other stuff that they get. Like if they want to, they can just put the rated R content on that without having to worry about backlash or putting it on their Disney Plus service. What you gonna say, bro?
I think they need better promotion than Netflix because no one watched their original series. So.
Can hear you
breaking up, man.
You can't hear me?
Okay, it's a little bit better now. What were you saying?
I said I think they need better promotion because nobody watches their original series.
Oh yeah.
Netflix, like y'all said, they rely too much on the shit they get from Disney and all these movies and shit. No one watches the content that they produced originally. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Because Netflix actually do have a lot of good original stuff, but it's, you know, sometimes it's kind of
it's just all over the place, man. Like people don't feel like looking at that bad search engine and trying to look for something they want to watch. They want stuff to be in their face, you know. Right. Put in an algorithm that recommends stuff that's similar instead of just all this other BS.
Yeah, the only thing that I even remember them promoting that came directly from Netflix was that movie Bird Box. After that, I have no idea what else.
You never seen any of their like shows, you know, that they produce and made? Like, I'll give an example, like Altered Carbon, for an example.
Actually, no, you're right. I did watch that for a little bit, and I think it might have some new seasons, but I'm not even.
Well, the thing, it's still, you know, I don't know, that and some other shows I've been watching that's from them. It's like it's been like, I don't know how long is this development hell is for them, because I don't know if they're trying to manage their money right. I just finally found out like, oh, we're finally gonna do another season of those. I'm like, out of how many years has passed right now? I'm like,
yeah, that's kind of my thing. Because I had to remember, I was like, did they actually? Because I watched, I think, all the episodes, and then it went on a little hiatus. I was like, okay, I gotta wait for season 2, but it's like, did they ever make more episodes? I forgot about it. I had to sit and think.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
No. The one show I watched, it was more like an FBI during Mindhunters. It was like, you know, it was like a period piece back in the day when they first used the concept of serial killers. That show was like done like years, like at least a couple years ago, and I was like, is another season coming up? I just found out now that like, oh, they display like, yeah, we're having another season coming. I'm like, okay, like they took so long. It's like, you know, you'll make the fire, you know, go out.
Yeah, I mean, they have some pretty good stuff on Netflix. I won't lie. I think that series was called Kingdom. It's pretty much the Korean version of Walking Dead.
Yeah, they got so many good. What the thing that gets them like traction is word of mouth. Like how much people rave about something, because like when Black Mirror had its new season coming out, everybody was raving over that. So I'm pretty sure they got a lot of subscribers based on that. They just need to get their search engine together. I think more like Disney, the only thing that they have to worry about is how accessible their live streaming service is. Because they got a big Eastern audience and all these other audiences over there in the East that are gonna eat that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
You already got the Western fanboys, but you need to expand that stuff to the Eastern audience.
Yeah, and they're gonna try to find some kind of way to market to that because, I don't want to be going on to much more on the politics, economics, and business is booming bigger over there, so they're trying to get anything they can to cater to them.
Exactly.
Hell yeah! What's the next movie on the list?
What is the next movie on the list? Shit, what were we even talking about?
Marvel Phase 4 went on a tangent.
No, I forgot the subject. Though.
Well, here's the thing, because I want to go back to the 2020 thing. We got also the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
yeah. Well, we talking about film or TV series? Because the last film,
pretty sure because it's a TV series.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about there's still one more film that we didn't discuss before we get into the TV series.
I mean, we're going in order though. Like it's kind of like cut into like different segments. Like not everything is in order when it comes to the TV.
Yeah, because we did jump into Shang-Chi, and that was like all the way in 2021.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Marvel Cinematic Universe fandom page right now. I'm just going from films on down the series, but so the last movie is Thor and Thor: Love and Thunder.
One thing I want to say with Thor, what happened to the Hulk? Because they had like he had his own one solo movie of the Hulk. Why is there no Hulk movie in this phase?
Because they don't own the rights. Solo movie. They don't own the film distribution rights to the Hulk. Universal owns it.
Oh, Universal owns it?
Yeah, like
so it can only be in collaboration movies.
Yeah, Disney knows that Universal is going to want to have that creative muscle when it comes to making those films, and they're going to want to pick their guys to play some of the characters. So,
or that you can use that as a marketing way, like, oh, we're going to hold this character. You got holding left, like you have to pay us a whole bunch of money,
right?
like George Lucas sold Star Wars. I'm like, I can see him doing some shit like that.
Right. So they'd rather just have some of those characters come over to the MCU playground.
Oh, so I did hear a rumor that Beta Ray Bill is gonna come out to play.
I'm hearing that he might appear up in Guardians 3, or he may appear in Thor 4.
Well, they did give him a cameo. Like he did get a mini cameo in the other Thor movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna do that because they already taken so much of his character and given it to Thor with that Stormbringer.
Well, he has he had to return Mjolnir, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm thinking that what's her name is going to get that though.
No, but Mjolnir is broken up because Cap had to return it back to the past.
Yeah, right. I was about to say if he still had it, he could give Mjolnir to, because I think that's what happens in the comics. He gives Mjolnir to Beta Ray Bill, and then he keeps Stormbringer.
Yeah.
Well, what's the name? Makes him a hammer. I think Odin makes him another hammer.
I thought Odin is dead in the cinematic universe.
I'm talking about in the comics.
Oh, the comic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know.
We don't know if he's gonna be in there or not, though.
I hope he makes a mini appearance because that's actually pretty funny because I think him and Thor go toe to toe at some point. And just duke it out, and so that'd be interesting to see. But I Love and Thunder. That name.
Game. I give it that.
That's interesting. I'm like, but Love and War. I don't know what. I'm guessing it's paying homage to that. I don't know.
Right. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say. I think this is where they were talking about. You might see the gay superhero instead of it being them. Most people are going to think it's going to be them together, but they were going to play it where one of them happens to be gay.
Ooh.
Either Thor or what's her name, Valkyrie.
Well, it's funny. I was looking at articles and stuff like that. It seemed like they were trying to hit that more with Valkyrie, but I don't know. Yeah, but I was going to bring up another thing too because I know they said they were talking about that with the Internal, so one of the Internal characters.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like whatever, Yeah. If it just so happens to be a quirk in who they are, just a funny moment, then hey, because I give you, if you've not seen the new Stranger Things. I'm not going to spoil it, but that happens in the new Stranger Things where.
So it's supposed to be like a particular gay character.
Well, it's a character that you don't think is, but because of a really weird buildup that happens, then the reveal comes is like, oh no, oh no, I actually, like the same sex. Like, oh, and they laugh about it and then they move on. Like it's not something that the whole thing focuses on, but the buildup is so funny because of it uses traditional kind of boy meets girl trope, and then everything is set up for them to kind of fall in love together. And yeah, it makes it funny, but it doesn't come across as pandering. It's just oh well. Anyway.
Interesting. That's interesting. I mean, that's an interesting way to do it. I mean, I could see Marvel doing it in a good way and most likely in a bad way, but it all depends on how we see this goes out with this film. I think the more interesting that got me about this film is what I think I heard, because they said like, oh, we're gonna have maybe Thor's used to be love interest to be like the next Thor. So I'm like,
Jane Foster.
Yeah, I think someone said in the chat.
Yeah, I'm thinking that had more to do with certain like politics in between that, because didn't she once said she was thinking about not being the Thor movies no more, and now she's doing it. So I'm thinking like she's trying to like get a bigger cut.
Man,
maybe. I mean, if she has movies promised to her, because think about it, if there's a handoff and she gets guaranteed 3 more movies and she doesn't have anything lined up for her in the near future for any other movies, then why not, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't hate on her hustle. I mean, like if she's because she got to play her own different way than
we've seen actors like be all frustrated or ready to move on, and then suddenly change their tune, and then you see them back, and they don't really explain. Oh, what happened? Like what happened to Tony when he said he was Iron Man no more? They showed some of them dollar bills, and he changed his tune.
Yeah. That's how pretty much I saw.
Okay, I'm back.
Because she was like, oh, I'm not gonna be in the Thor movies then until like, oh, I get like a big role, and how big these Marvel movies have been selling. She's like, oh, I'm gonna be taking that next mantle.
Right. Hell yeah, that's the way it works. Listen, it all depends on how big the check they gonna cut.
She most likely like signed a contract when she worked with them on what's that, Endgame?
I kind of hope they replace her though, because she didn't sell me on that character.
We already on Thor, huh?
Yeah. One thing that's kind of getting me, considering the fact that this is like the first MCU solo film to break that 3 movies a piece ritual, I'm wondering if that's going to be like a thing now, like going into phase 4, like we're going to start hearing more announcements, like with movies that's going on like a trilogy, and they can get another like a 4th film. That's going to be a thing moving forward.
So I'm assuming if we talk about Thor's, because I was listening to some of the stream while I was doing what I had to do. So we done already touched on the whole same team stuff.
Valkyrie's character, yeah.
Yeah,
and she's so hot too. I'm like so hot. I
know you got something to say. I gotta hear that.
Okay, so first and foremost, Natalie Portman too damn old to be playing a Thor. Love Natalie Portman. God bless her, but you too old, baby girl. Unless they replace her with a younger actress when she transforms. Yeah, you too old. And then do we know if it's supposed to be Valkyrie and Jane together?
I always thought they were going to ship like Valkyrie and Captain Marvel at first. That's what I was thinking.
But do we know if that's what they're doing? Because at first I thought it was going to be love triangle, but now it's like, nope, like Thor ain't got nothing to do with that, which I'm like, then why is he even in the movie? What is he there for?
Because I think it's Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel's supposedly gay too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, so is that interesting? Totally that in that way.
Anyway, okay, well,
hold on. I want to say this before you start. Just because Captain Marvel's gay doesn't mean they got to hook up. I'm just saying. It seemed like that's where they were going with it. I don't want to make it assume like all gay people.
I'm shipping every.
I was going to branch into something else. I was going to say I'd rather have Valkyrie become the next Thor.
I'd rather not have a Thor at all because none of them are Thor.
That's a good point.
What makes Thor? Someone being worthy. That's what makes Thor.
I'm pretty sure last I checked, you had to be the spawn of Odin.
No, Beta Ray Bill's not.
No, didn't they have a horse that became
Hold
Thor?
up. Are we talking about comics Thor or are we talking about MCU Thor?
It depends how much. Well, if
We talk about MCU Thor.
But
In the comics, anybody with the hammer could be Thor.
Right.
But in the MCU, Chris Hemsworth is Thor.
Well, hold on. In the MCU, remember when the father took the hammer and he said, whoever has this power will have the power of Thor? He did. He did that in the first movie.
No. But what I'm saying is, they never turned Thor into a transformation. Is what I'm saying.
That's the only thing that
gets
me.
The whole movie when he didn't have the hammer. Remember, he's running around. He wasn't worthy. He couldn't lift the hammer, and that's even in the last movie when he put his hand out to see if he was still worthy.
And he was still Thor.
Well, I was gonna do another way that breaks it too, because remember in the last movie, Endgame, who else holded that hammer?
I get.
Yeah, he didn't transform.
I mean, there have been
hold on. Are you saying
two other people that hold the hammer though?
Well, hold on. Are you saying because Thor doesn't have the secret identity anymore? Because back in the day, Thor was the character, and still he had a secret identity. The doctor with the cane. I forgot who
Donald Blake.
Name. Yes, and then he became Thor when he picked up the hammer. He was able to pick up the hammer. So is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Thor
Since
is
we never,
Thor,
since we
have the alternate.
There you go. We never established like Thor operating in that way. It's always been the literal Thor the entire time.
Not the transformation Thor.
Not the transformation, exactly. Yep, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's the only thing that bugged me when like Steve Rogers got the hammer. It's like you're supposed to take on like at least, a costume change that's similar to Thor when you wield his power.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with Storm in the comics. She kind of, took on that Thor aesthetic.
Yeah, you get all that. But one thing though is even with this new Thor, you're right. He's always Thor. So, but still separating the powers from the individual, because that's what I'm talking about. Because that's what the hammer still represents. Even if you're talking about the comics or the movies, whoever yields the hammer does have the power of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so literally they're not Thor, but figuratively with the power substrate, yes, they are Thor. When Captain America picked up that hammer, he effectively had all the powers of Thor. Except his name wasn't Thor, it was Captain America.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I mean, they're getting ready for Thor, Love and Thunder. The least one I'm interested in. I'm not even seeing that. I'm passing on that.
No, I'm dead serious. Watch that.
You didn't like Ragnarok.
I didn't like Ragnarok.
Right.
I hated Ragnarok. Oh. I hated it, and it's the same writer, same director. I'm passing on that one. So, but like I said, that's the cool thing about these movies, right? The movies operate just like the comics. And why do we have so many comics? Because there's so many different audiences. So if you're interested in a movie, go check it out. If you're not, don't. World keep on spinning.
Mm-hmm.
But before I go, can we talk about the main reason why we here?
What's that?
Or at least some of us, because some of us.
I don't know if it was some.
Some of us are questionable after that Black Panther fiasco.
I said what I said.
AJ, there will be no challenge today.
All right.
Anyway, let's talk about Blade.
Woo!
Okay, I'll say this. How you feel about the actor playing it?
Mahershala Ali? I think that's how you say it. Mahershala.
Academy Award winning Mahershala.
Two times.
Mm-hmm.
He played in I think he's well known for Moonlight, and then played the main villain in the Battle Leader Angel. What you call him? And he played he's on a series too.
Luke Cage.
What is it?
Luke Cage.
Oh yeah. He's talking about Luke Cage. Yeah, he was the best part on Luke Cage.
Yep.
Yeah. He was a Cottonmouth, I think.
Yep.
He was Cottonmouth. Yeah. So I like when I see him. He brings characters alive when he does a role. It's like you see Wesley Snipes try and do a role. Y'all watching Wesley Snipes do a role. When I fear Mashallah, like he embodies that character. I think it was that method acting or some shit I think that's what it's called. He embodies whatever that character is. right? You're not seeing him, you're seeing that character. And I really think I like the idea because he is going to not do Wesley Snipes' Blade. He is going to try and stay as faithful as, at least I think so, as faithful as he can to the comics. So we will see some of that badassery that Snipes brought, but it's going to be a different, I guess, type of badassery. Via
I think he can bring more depth to the character. I think he can bring more personality and depth to Blade. Wesley Snipes is. I love Wesley Snipes' Blade, though, but I think he'd be a better fit, at least for this version of Blade.
Like the thing about like the character of Blade, like the thing about the character of Blade, though, like when people say, "Oh, they're gonna borrow more from the comics," everything that Blade contributed up in his like live action, persona is what he lent to the comics Blade himself. You know what I'm saying? That he's the one who made that character who he is now. Because
exactly.
There was no half human like what that Dampier like Blade before. It was just an average human that was immune to vampire bites. That's all it was. And now the aesthetic and all the other like mythos that movie presented has been injected into those comics. So it's going to be interesting to see how the MCU changes this up. How they pour on their little magic.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's one of my big major problems with it. I mean, I know I get on the Will thing. I want stuff a little more on. I know I'm a big fan of grit and all that other stuff, but I'm like, how are you going to do this with this film? Because this feels like a film that I feel like this should be rated R.
I mean, most horror films, they try to go for that PG-13 because you want to get asses in seats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. And that's been my.
Yeah, like most of the casualties when it comes to vampires, they don't just bleed, they just disintegrate or they burst into like sparks.
But here's the whole thing. A lot of blood is being played with this. I mean, that's what they do. That's what vampires want.
Yeah. I mean, but Blade was rated R for more of the other things like the strong language and over the top gore.
Yeah, like dude, if you go back and watch the first Blade, in terms of like the violence and stuff compared to today, like that movie would be PG-13 today.
Mm-hmm. I think Blade Trinity was like the only PG-13 one out of the bunch.
Was it? I barely remember. Was that the one where the alpha or vampire came out?
Yeah, because I think New Line Cinema didn't have faith that it was going to do well in the box office, so they wanted to get as many people in the theater to see it.
So they hired Triple H to play one of the vampires.
Yes.
Yeah.
The game.
Okay. Yes. But one thing though, for those people who out there who don't know, which I'm assuming everybody does know, but Blade was the first successful Marvel movie ever made. Well, the first profitable one, I should say.
Yeah.
Profitable.
Don't get high because I think it was rated R too, right?
Yeah,
it was rated R. Everybody gives Deadpool the credit, but it was Blade who introduced us to the and Blade was, I think, the perfect mix of things. It was a B level, really. We're talking about a C level character. Because Blade really wasn't, he was in someone else's comic book at first. And then
Spider-Man for a while.
Yeah, and then Blade, and so they were able to take this character, build that kind of vampire craze back in that late 90s, early 2000s, game toward it, and then have a successful character. Most people don't even really associate the Blade character with the cartoon or even with the comic books.
No, because he has a whole arc with Kraven, the Hunter. And I think there's I think Kraven's brother too. Dude, like they have a whole adventure where he's hunting them because I mean it's it was Kraven and the vampire guy.
Morbius.
Yeah, that's who Blade actually got his half human, half vampire powers from in the comics.
Yeah, I think they changed got bit by the movie.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, but yeah, perfect casting. I'm excited for it. Waiting for that release date. I think it's gonna be cool. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is Blade. Blade, Doc Strange 2, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Those are the biggest things I'm looking forward to. Everything else, I mean, like the Disney Plus stuff, I mean, I could take it, I could leave it. It don't really matter to me. And the one I'm just not going to see Thor. Just not.
Well, the ones you said you wanted to see is exactly the same ones I wanted to see, and I just added Thor in there just for curiosity.
Yeah, no, I'm good with Thor.
I guess I understand, Larry, man, because my little brother refuses to see Captain Marvel. He refuses.
Still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it.
Either.
I saw it. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was
It
good.
was okay.
I still haven't seen it.
I like that nice little twist to it too. When you see it, there's a nice little twist in it.
Is it? Because I found out about that twist and I called bullshit on it.
It was good. The way they did it was nice.
The only thing that I can say is that we all can agree that Marvel is going more into the cosmic route with the MCU films, based on everything we've seen with Spider-Man, Far From Home, and all these other movies.
Yeah. Well, there's someone that was introduced, and a few years ago in a movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, that we all forgot about.
I didn't forget about him, but
Howard?
Nova. You took
this nigga said hell. No,
Alex.
Howard the Duck. No, not Howard the Duck.
Him.
Alex Warlock.
Adam Warlock.
What's that?
But he was,
introduced.
but he wasn't formally introduced yet. We don't even know who that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, they called him and said his name is Adam. Like she actually says his name.
Okay, that's all fine and dandy. I didn't see him. I didn't hear him. He ain't got no screen time. He ain't got no line.
He was in the egg thing. He was in there.
But that's just an Easter egg though. It's like
that's just an Easter egg.
Literally an egg.
He was literally an egg, but still, man, we can't forget about him now. We can't forget about him. So.
But before we end this, what about the what if? Like Marvel's What If?
That's not going to be anything important. That's like a cartoon thing.
It's an animated anthology.
Yeah,
but one of the things that they were tossing around is actually having for Captain America the flip, where instead of Steve Rogers taking the formula, it's going to be Peggy Carter.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that's going to
have fun with that. I mean, I wouldn't. That's not a big like what if. It's not a big what if. Like if y'all ever read the what if comic series, like the comic book series, they did like some big ass hypotheticals. Like one of the most popular ones is what if Gwen Stacy had lived before we officially brought back Gwen Stacy in the comics. And then there's some really crazy fucking ones too. But Peggy Carter, okay, sure.
I like DC's what ifs better, like Red Superman, for instance.
Red Sun?
Yeah.
You talk about Elseworlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elseworlds is pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to interest me is what kind of animation call they're going to do. Are they going to do Japanese animation? If they're going to actually put any effort into it, because their Disney Marvel shows haven't been the best in terms of quality. Same. They lack their own identity because they're sucking the cock of the MCU. So
of course,
until they show me what they got, and show me what studios they're going to work with, I don't care.
But you know what though? They'd rather give up the anime than give up the studio stuff, because that's what DC made that mistake with Justice League. Justice League was so good it kind of held back their movies because it was such a good property.
Yeah.
That's still my biggest gripe with the Justice League live action movie. I'm like, dude, you want to know? Because they're like, oh, it can't be done. You want to know how the fuck you make a Justice League live action movie? You ready for this? Go remake the fucking pilot from the animated series.
Very much.
Yeah,
it's an hour. It's 2 episodes, 24 minutes apiece. It's 48 minutes of material. Go take that shit and stretch it across 2 hours.
This goes to show you that corporations just lack patience, man. They drive their car 100 miles per hour. They're not looking back. They just trying to get to the next big $1 billion blockbuster. They ain't got the patience, man.
But listen, don't forget, DC got kind of flat-footed with this Marvel thing. Marvel kind of came and built up this juggernaut with the Avengers, and DC was like, "Well, we got Justice League just sitting in the can. We've been letting Batman run around for 10 movies and Superman run around for 5 movies together. Let's put them together."
Money with it. That's how they. Don't forget, most of the money people was like, "Oh, let's just do this," but they're not. They didn't have the creative minds to have that to work with those to make it.
I disagree with that. I think they just didn't let the time, because now you're trying to reintroduce these characters. Like, how many times Batman been reintroduced? And it's worked most of the time, except for Batman Forever. Well, not Batman Forever. The what's
like
his name?
any other Schumacher films.
Yes, but what happens is you got to build these things up. When Batman went to trash, they rebranded it Batman Begins and then redid the whole thing. And that's what they had to do with Ben Affleck, but they didn't do that. They tried to continue a story, throw us right into the mix, and then kill Superman, their first big movie. You got to build up to something like that.
No, I agree with you on the time. It's just as long as the studio heads have the final say or control the power, and the creative people can't do anything a lot with it, it's gonna, it's going to be turned to shit.
Yeah, that's the difference between WB and Disney. WB always has to get involved. Marvel, they just say we're gonna leave y'all the fuck alone and let y'all do what y'all.
I'm surprised Disney usually say sometimes leave it the fuck alone.
No, Marvel. Disney intervenes.
To a certain extent. The only time they intervene is when they want to be petty.
They intervene. That's the whole what is it called? There's a name for it.
Corporate structure.
No, it's a slang, a little colloquialism that they have about the House of Mouse's influence over the Disney films. I forget what the little nickname is, but anywho. But unfortunately, gentlemen, we have to go ahead. We have to wrap this up. We are coming up. Okay, so real quick, I got 43 people watching, only 29 likes. Now, if y'all really didn't dig this live stream, you know what? Fine, fair. But if y'all did, don't be disingenuous and don't be lying. If you dug this discussion, the ideas and whatnot, the banter and all that jazz, please give us a like. It don't cost you nothing. And as a wise man once said, Jesus paid it all on the cross for you anyway. So,
yeah,
amen.
If y'all want to see me and Nate come back and be contrarians, please hit that like button or hit the dislike. That's fine too.
Contrarians. So you was messing with me about that Black Panther thing?
No, I was actually serious about that.
Okay.
No, I was actually serious. No. I hope that I'm glad they killed his ass off real quick. I'm standing by. Did not like him when I first heard him cast. Still don't like him. Don't. There's plenty of people who are bigger, blacker, and stronger than him, and they can convince me that they are an actual threat.
What was so special about the original concept of Killmonger, though?
But the original Killmonger was built. Like when you look at the
original, okay, but what does that add to his personality? Besides him having
not intimidating,
a spiky belt and a pet jaguar. That's all he had.
But he could kill you with his bare hands. This Killmonger might sneak up on you in the dark and stab you, but the other Killmonger would face to face.
I say he was like Bane or something.
Okay.
Face to face.
Okay. So on that note, we're gonna have to shut this down because Drag not tripping.
I'll accept. I accept it. This. Stay tuned next time, folks. This ain't done. This ain't over.
No, it ain't over. Duh. That's the level of disrespect in here. Just
y'all want to see part 2? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments section. It's a thing.
Okay. Anyway, so let's go ahead. I might end up picking this discussion up later, just because I'm planning on doing before the month's out. I'm just gonna do like a regular, like just old school hangout, chill out, because Hangouts is leaving on August 1st.
Are you serious?
So yeah. YouTube, Google's discontinuing Hangouts. So like before Hangouts is over with, I'm doing just an old fashioned, just hanging out, kicking it, chilling, hangout. So we'll probably chop it up some more about some Phase 4 stuff then. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's knock out these outros, starting with my man Random Black Gamer.
Yeah, your boy Random Black Gamer. You can find me on my YouTube channel, also named Random Black Gamer, and you can also hit me up on Twitter at Random Black Game because I couldn't fit the R at the end, and you can see the little logo where I have a Namek called My Namek. That's a parody off of Training Day, and you can also find me on Instagram at Random Black Gamer 88. Cha.
Okay, Dragnot.
I am Dragnot Silvis. I've been putting stuff in the chat this entire time. If you like watching people do reviews of Rings of Redemption or DSP, I pretty much do the same thing, just with different people that y'all have never heard of. Me and Nate talk about religion, politics, all kind of crazy stuff. But you know what? If y'all don't know anything about law or philosophy or theology or science, like biochemistry and cancer stuff, you know what? You might just come by and learn something. Who knows? Maybe one day. So I put my link in the chat. I put Random Black Gamers, and I put Nate's in there. So hell yeah, come on by.
Appreciate it.
All right, Nate.
Yeah, all right, I'm back now. Sorry about that. My name is Nate, and hey, listen, I'm an attorney here in New York. I'm just think I'm trying to do this YouTube thing maybe full time now. I used to teach at a law school. Right now, I got a sabbatical coming up, so I'm probably just going to be trying to do a law school series here online, just about all the first year law classes. So I'm going to be doing kind of like an in-depth review of those, and then I'm also going to be doing just a couple other things doing my channel. I'm big into reactions and those type of things, and I'm a huge comic book fan. So you'll see a lot of that on my channel, and a lot of my stuff. So if you like that type of stuff, stop by. You might see something you like.
All right, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, was nothing much to be said. It's just me, Nick. Just in here, just chilling and stuff, and that's pretty much it. And I had a good time at the live stream.
All right, and as always, this is Larry Williams, OAW Commander in Chief. For the faithful out there, keep your eyes open, keep your ear out, cause I'm gonna be streaming some more. I mean, I'm pretty much gonna be streaming until the end of the month. There's gonna be some other ones coming up soon. I got a couple of reviews I gotta knock out for Patreon. And that's just a reminder. The end of the month is approaching. So if any of you all have any requests for reviews, hit up the Patreon, patreon.com/OAW. Get your requests in before the first so that your review can be fulfilled next month in August. Because if you wait until after the first, it won't get fulfilled until September. So, anywho, so I got a couple of reviews coming out. And like I said, I'm gonna do another just kick it hangout, just a regular chill session. Probably will do another one. I'm not sure what the topic's going to be or what the subject's going to be. Probably will do another live stream. This one will be patron exclusive though. I know I promised a commentary, which is still that hasn't gone anywhere. That's still on the agenda. But for the one I'm thinking of doing either this week or next week, it might not be a commentary. I just don't know what type of hangout I'm gonna do. But that one is going to be just for the patrons. All right. And with that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander in Chief, signing off. And until next time, peace.
Peace.